The ongoing dispute revolves around the question of how to handle a peerage nomination without making it public. It appears that Boris Johnson believed Rishi Sunak was quietly submitting names for peerages, much like the one offered to Nadine Dorries. Johnson seemed to be doing this behind the scenes, while Sunak had no intention of engaging in such actions. Sunak found the procedural maneuvering concerning and believed it reeked of impropriety. A cabinet minister who previously worked under Johnson mentioned that while Johnson may not understand the concept of impropriety, he feels robbed of certain names for peerages, such as Nadine Dorries. These events highlight the dysfunctional relationships within the upper echelons of the Tory party. Sunak, to some extent, wanted to mend these relationships and sought a truce with Johnson just 10 days ago. Sunak believed he needed Johnson's support in the red wall seats. However, this attempt at reconciliation has fallen apart, and the current state of their relationship is dire. Johnson met with Sunak in the Prime Minister's office inside Parliament 10 days ago to negotiate a truce. Sunak wanted Johnson's help in the general election, while Johnson sought confirmation that the MPs promised peerages would receive them. Speaking at a tech conference, Sunak responded to Johnson's suggestion that he reneged on a deal by accusing Johnson of asking him to do something improper regarding honours. Sunak made it clear that he was not willing to overrule the whole committee or make promises to people. In response, Johnson retorted that Sunak was talking nonsense. Johnson believed that Sunak should have resubmitted the names of the MPs he wished to appoint to the House of Lords. The initial nominations did not clear the vetting process because the MPs had not committed to resigning as MPs, which would trigger by-elections. However, Sunak insists that he made no promises in his Commons office to take such actions. It seems that Johnson misunderstood Sunak's intentions and believed that Sunak would bend the rules for him. This misconception is not surprising, given Johnson's history of giving the wrong impression to many people throughout his career. This situation has caused discontent among some loyal supporters of Johnson within the parliamentary party. While there were around 70 stalwart supporters who cheered Johnson on in Downing Street 9 months ago, their numbers have dwindled. Observers within the party are beginning to question whether Johnson truly serves the party's interests. The economy is in better shape, and politics no longer resembles a dramatic series. Sunak, who boasted recently that he had put an end to the soap opera, now faces by-elections that could shape his political future. In Nadine Dorries' constituency of Mid-Bedfordshire, the Labour Party secured second place in the general election, and the Liberal Democrats are also active there. The Lib Dem leader expressed skepticism about Sunak's claim that he stood up to Johnson, stating that it shows how deaf to public opinion the government has been. Sunak will face voters in 3 by-elections while his promises remain unfulfilled, and the infighting within the Conservative Party intensifies. Some view him favourably, while others are considering alternative options. When asked about Sunak, voters expressed mixed opinions. The Liberal Democrats and Labour have been actively campaigning and distributing leaflets. The focus then shifts to Nadine Dorries, who was seemingly not renominated for a peerage by Sunak in his own name. Last Thursday, Sunak came close to becoming one of the biggest vote losers, second only to Theresa May. While all attention was on Johnson and his media presence, it was revealed that he earned £5 million in the past 3 years and was fined again. He has a history of dishonesty, having been sacked in the past for lying and found to have misled Parliament. It is uncertain what is happening with Boris Johnson. The trustworthiness of his statements is questionable. However, without being present in the room during the discussions between Johnson and Sunak, it is impossible to determine the veracity of their accounts. Nevertheless, Sunak's version of events appears plausible and likely to be true. Regarding Johnson's future, there are still supporters who believe he will return and consider him the winner. They argue that it is not over and he will stand again in the future, albeit with a potential delay. This perception creates the impression that Sunak lacks control over his own destiny. However, Sunak has displayed strength and determination in his response, indicating that he will not be swayed off course. It is worth noting that once politicians leave Parliament, their influence diminishes, even if they are prominent figures in the media. In terms of factions within Parliament, it is unclear whether all MPs are now supporters of Sunak. Some resigned from the party, and a small number rebelled against the government in a significant vote on the Winter Declaration regarding Northern Ireland. However, the largest group within the Conservative Party is the One Nation group, which represents the mainstream and holds the majority in the Parliamentary Conservative Party. Regarding the criticism of Johnson's honours list, the interviewee, Damien Green, expresses his outrage on behalf of his colleagues on the Privileges Committee. He believes the personal attacks on them are disgraceful and emphasizes that politicians should not attack each other in such a manner. Green disagrees with individuals who dismiss the Privileges Committee as a kangaroo court. While he acknowledges that politics involves disagreements and criticism, he believes that engaging in personal attacks is not the right way to conduct politics. Ultimately, he hopes that the current political drama will fade away, allowing the government to focus on governing the country effectively. Please note that the rewritten article has been condensed and may not precisely match the original length.